Howdy again, everybody. This is Doc from Thorofan coming to you with the name behind the race, and we are entering the final weekend, really, of prep races for the Breeders' Cup. If you can call them prep races anymore, really. A lot of big horses are just kind of training up to the Breeders' Cup this year, but we still do have a lot of great racing going on this weekend, and the race that we are going to profile this week is called the Hill Prince, and it is a turf race taking place up at Belmont Park this weekend, and it's named for a horse, really, that was a star of the stable before the real star that everybody knows of the stable came along. What do I mean? I'm about to explain as we look at, once again, the name behind the race.
Before Riva Ridge, before Secretariat, there was another star of the Meadow Stable. His name was Hill Prince, and he was bred and owned by the founder of Meadow Stable, Christopher Chenery. Hill Prince was the son of the great stallion Prince Quillo. That name may sound familiar because Prince Quillo was also the sire of Secretariat's dam, Something Royal. And, for a little bit of trivia knowledge you can toss out at some racing party sometime, who else had a dam who was sired by Prince Quillo? Why, none other than Secretariat's main rival in that Triple Crown series of 1973, Sham. Prince Quillo has been shown to be a prominent horse in the sire lines of many really, really good racehorses throughout the years. But now back to Hill Prince. A homebred, and probably the first real star of the Chenery stable, Hill Prince was a champion at 2, 3, and 4. Ridden by the great Eddie Arcaro, Hill Prince won the Wood Memorial over what would soon become his main rival that year, Middle Ground. He went into the Kentucky Derby as one of the favorites, but traffic trouble made him run out of real estate before he could reel in Middle Ground, who went on to take the roses in that 1950 Derby. Avenging that loss to Middle Ground in the Withers, he again beat his rival in probably what was his best career race in the Preakness Stakes that year, taking the Black-Eyed Susan blanket by an easy 5 lengths. In the rubber match for the two, the Belmont Stakes, Hill Prince set the early pace, but tired pretty badly, and Middle Ground came on to take the final jewel of that year's Triple Crown, as can be seen here. Does anyone else kind of miss those days when horses actually ran against each other over multiple times to establish some of those great rivalries? Despite those losses to Middle Ground, Hill Prince had a spectacular second half of 1950, with wins on both coasts, including a win in the prestigious Jockey Club Gold Cup, beating the top handicap horse that year, Nor, and beating the top 3-year-old filly, Next Move, in the Sunset Handicap out in California. It was enough to garner him Horse of the Year honors for 1950. As a 4- and 5-year-old, Hill Prince was plagued by some injuries that prevented him from racing much, but he did win the New York Handicap as a 4-year-old and had some memorable races with that year's eventual Horse of the Year, Counterpoint, as well. It was enough to garner him Champion Older Horse honors for his 4-year-old season. He raced sparingly at age 5, and after a filling was found in his leg following a 5th place finish in the 1952 Santa Anita Handicap, he was retired. He was inducted into the Racing Hall of Fame in 1991, and the New York Racing Association created the Hill Prince Stakes in his honor in 1975 as a turf stakes race that was run at a 1.5 miles up until 2005, when it was shortened to its current distance of a mile. Perhaps kind of the oddest thing about the Hill Prince Stakes is that it's contested on grass, a surface his namesake never actually ran a race on. One of the more well-known turf stars to win the race in recent memory was Gio Ponti in 2008.
Prussian trying to fight him off. Moral compass in tight between those two. And down to the line, Gio Ponti will prevail. Gio Ponte and Garrett Gomez come storming off the pace.
Well, there you go. Everything you kind of wanted to know about the Hill Prince, and how actually it is a little odd that he never raced on the turf, yet has the turf race named in his honor. But then again, look at a horse like Man of War. He's got the Man of War, which is on grass at Belmont, and Man of War never set foot on the green either during his racing career. So you just never know where those races are going to pop up. That's about going to do it for this week's segment of The Name Behind the Race. I will be up at Belmont for their Super Saturday program this weekend, so if you happen to be walking around the Grand Old Lady, take a look for the Pinhead as always. Stop by, say hi, we'll talk Thorofan, we'll talk horses, have a good time. If you happen to have a race that you're curious about the name behind, drop us a line here at Thorofan. I'd be happy to research it for you, and you never know, it actually could end up on a future segment. I am Doc for Thorofan, and we will see you next time as always on The Name Behind the Race.
If you're an incredibly passionate thoroughbred racing fan and want to find a whole bunch of people that are just like you, why not check out Thorofan at Thorofan.com. Sign up to become a member, get our amazing weekly newsletter, and learn everything and anything there is to know about this amazing sport we call thoroughbred horse racing. Thorofan, giving the fans a voice.